everyone, and welcome to Conversations in Education. Please forgive me getting myself together. You're listening to WCEG Network. We are the worldwide community network. We are the worldwide community empowerment group where we speak life into the community. Log on to WCEGradio.com. You can watch us live on your smart TV, on Roku, cable channel, on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and now on fan-based Blue Sky and Twitch. I'm your host, once again, Vincent Cheeks, for the next hour of Conversations in Education. Feel free to download our mobile app under WCEG. You can also say, Alexa, play WCEG Talk Radio. You can listen to WCEG on any of our 12 podcast distribution platforms. And as always, the topics and opinions are those of the show host and the guests, and not of WCEG Media Enterprise. And as always, we just want to say thank you for your love and for your continued support. We have a great show for you today. We have someone we're running for the mayor of South Fulton, and I will introduce him in 1 second. But first, I want to say the afternoon announcements. As I mentioned, there is an election coming up. The election is on Tuesday, November the 4th. Tuesday, November 4th. And early voting did start this past week on October the 14th. So make sure you are registered to vote. Make sure if that's what you feel in your heart, you should do. Early voting did start on October the 14th, as I did state. Also, we are doing Capturing the Spirit of Oakland at Oakland Cemetery this year. We just had our first opening week, which started last Thursday and ran through Sunday. Now we're going into the second week, which is going to be October the 23rd through the 26th. I just went in and looked on the website, historicoaklandfoundation.com/ticketing, and there are still some tickets left. So if you're interested in going to Capturing the Spirit of Oakland, it's a very fun and educational family event. What they do is, if you don't know about Oakland Cemetery, it's one of the most historic and oldest cemeteries in Atlanta, and it's right in the heart of downtown Atlanta off of Memorial. And what they do every year is they bring to life 7 to 8 of the residents who are buried in the cemetery, and they basically hire actors. I am one of those actors, and they hire us to act out a 6-minute skit where we explain who these people are. We explain their contributions to the early founding and putting together the city of Atlanta. And then we tell how they came to be a resident of Oakland Cemetery. So like I said, it's very educational, and it's a fun family event. You can bring children of all ages, as long as you have no qualm about coming into the cemetery, if you will, especially at night. I know some people feel some type of way about that, but hey, once again, it's education. And last but not least, November 19th through the 23rd, the Kaumba Storytellers of Georgia will be celebrating their 30-year anniversary, and NABS, the National Association of Black Storytellers, will be celebrating their 43-year anniversary. And then it is all going to take place at the Embassy Suites at Centennial Olympic Park, again, November 19th through the 23rd. That's going to be a wonderful family event also. So please check it out. You can Google for ticket information. Again, it's the National Association of Black Storytellers and the Kaumba Storyteller of Georgia, who are going to be presenting that week. Thank you very much. And with that being said, I'm going to introduce the guest that I have for this afternoon. He is the former mayor of South Fulton. He was there from 2014 to 2020, and he is running again this current cycle to be mayor again of South Fulton. Prior to being the mayor, he served as 14 years as a Fulton County Commissioner in District 7. Please help me welcome William Bill Edwards to the show. Mr. Edwards, thank you for being here today, sir. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk to the people of WCEG
Network. Well, thank you, Brother Cheeks. Very, very glad to be here with you. Seizing upon opportunity to let people know who Bill Edwards is, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and what we can do to make this city more prosperous and better respected.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So let's dive right into that. So how long have you been into politics total, and how did you get started in that
arena? I think totally about 18 years. Okay. I got started when I put my business on Old National Highway.
Okay.
I joined the Old National Merchants Association and became president of the Old National Merchants Association for about 13 years.
Okay.
At that time, Commissioner Hightower left the seat, and I was kind of like pushed into running, and I ran for the seat at that time and won. But I've always been a community activist.
Okay, and that I know that's important. Being a community activist, I consider myself to be an activist also, but I've worked with small children, elementary school children, and so I'm sure you run the gamut in working with all the people of the community. And with that being said, how did you get the moniker the ultimate public servant?
I think that was put upon me by the community.
Okay.
I believe seriously that government is about service.
Yes.
Nothing else. All right. When we're put into these jobs, it's important that we serve.
Okay.
If you want to be a great elected official, just serve. If you want to be a great doctor, just serve. If you want to be a great co-host for WCEG, just serve. And I've taken that all the way. I've always provided opportunities for not only myself to serve, but for the community that I serve to also serve. And so they became to call me the ultimate public servant.
Okay, and I'm sure you wear that title with pride.
One of the best titles I got.
Absolutely. And so what was it like for you to be voted as the very first mayor of South Fulton? And even with that being said, when did South Fulton become an incorporated city? Because I know it was unincorporated for a very long time.
2017.
2017, okay.
We became a city.
Okay.
Imagine this, Mr. Cheeks, you win an election, and you get up the next morning, you go home, and I am the mayor. And you get up in the morning the next day, and you really don't have a telephone. You don't have an office. You have some semblance of a staff. You got 700 people who are working with you who had no previous interaction in government.
Okay.
And I was like, what the heck, is happening here? So I had to get up and put my boots on the ground and start to build. No, I didn't say rebuild. I had to start to build. Build this city into what you possibly see today. Now, to add more injury to that, once I started building the city, entering contracts with the county government, contracts that last for 12 months, which I was paying exorbitant fees for, but I was able to get out of those contracts in 11 months. Then what happens? The biggest tornado in the history of South Fulton hits along South Fulton Parkway.
Okay.
Devastating communities. And had to deal with that, help communities to revive themselves, helping them to clean up. And we did that, we lived through it. And then about a month or two later, here comes the big one. when we had all of the what we call it, the what am I trying to say? The illnesses and stuff that came with COVID.
COVID. Okay.
The stuff that came with COVID came upon us. But I partnered with Fulton County, and we brought in some testing stations and things of that nature as an opportunity to fight this dread disease. And I think we did well. So it was so much. It was not like I came into a new city that's been around for a while, and I just had to keep things going. I started from scratch, Cheeks.
Okay. That sounds all very interesting. So what were some of the challenges in starting this new city from the ground up, if you will?
Well, out of the fact of having nothing, entering into contracts for service.
Okay.
With other municipalities, with other cities, with the county. Had to find someone who could help me stand up a police department, stand up a fire department, and I had nowhere else to look but to the county. And the county jumped in there, and with our support, they helped us keep fire and police together. But we were paying. All right, I want to make that clear. They weren't giving us nothing. we were actually paying.
Okay.
We had no place to go. I had to find an office, a building, so that we can bring those people in that we need to. And speaking of bringing people in, I brought in. We boarded in over 400 people to work for us at that time.
Okay.
And I was faced with $80 million worth of debt with only $60 million in the bank. so then, unfortunately, I had to go out and borrow money. I borrowed money twice, and on 12-month loans.
Okay.
Paid both of them back in 11 months. I guess I have a thing about 11 months. I don't know, but I paid them all back in 11 months. And that $60 million, that deficit that we had when the time I left office, we were $75 million to the good.
Okay.
So it was a lot of stuff going on, Vincent, that was behind the scenes that people didn't see. They thought that, let's get in here and get this thing done. But you realize that next morning when you get up and you don't have a police department, a telephone, a car, or nothing, it hits you real fast that you better wake up and do something. So that's what I had to do.
So you literally had to build everything piece by piece, the fire department, police department, everything that a new city needs.
Basically, yes. There was a fire department and a police department that the county had.
Okay.
Ours. All right. So I had to get with county officials to tell them, listen, I can't afford right now to do the kind of things I need to do in police. Can you help me while I go through other things? And so they said yes, and gave me a charge for doing it. And that's how I was able to withstand that. Not only that, there were other things I couldn't do. So we had to really partner and really make some short-term agreements with people.
Okay.
So that we can substantiate and build this new city.
So it seems to me that you would have to be quite the businessman to be able to negotiate these deals, these loans, and to coordinate these partnerships with the people that you had to work with to make the city successful.
It's no doubt about it. You have to wear several hats.
Okay.
And one thing about being in leadership is that you got to have what I put a lot of stake in this, relationships.
Right. Okay.
You have to build the type of relationships that people respect you and you respect them. I had to be the kind of Bill Edwards that tells someone, now remember now, we were at the bank, a new city, had no credit, and we got loans from the bank. And Vincent, and I was saying, oh Lord, they're just gonna kill us. with these interest rates, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so because we were risk, look, let's be honest with you, we were risk.
Right.
And do you know, God is good. We were able to secure those loans at 2%.
Oh, that's very good.
Very good. And I think it's one of the reasons why we're able to borrow money to today. We still don't have a bond rating or significant credit rating, but I think that was why. So people, and not only that, you know what one of the bankers told me? He said, it was hard for us to make the decision, but it was Bill Edwards. So that played a big part in making our decision.
Oh, so your reputation precedes you. If
You
you
ain't got a reputation, you ain't got nothing.
okay.
The fact
That says a lot.
and it's a good reputation that you have to have. When people understand that you understand that you're a humble person, that
Okay.
you're trying to do the right thing all the time. You try to put integrity first. Then people believe in you, and you form relationships that's going to help you as you grow in the future.
Now you just mentioned a very important word, integrity. And I don't know if a lot of people believe there's a lot of integrity left in the government. What would you say to a statement like
I would say you're absolutely right. The integrity is an issue. But I would say to you this: if you're living by the rules, if you practice what the governing bodies have given to you, and by the way, that's called a city charter.
Okay.
And you bring in the right people to help you move forward, then your integrity rises.
Okay.
Because they're going to believe what you believe, that integrity is very important, and they're going to have as much integrity as you have. But when you start swaying away from the plan,
Okay.
start changing things because you want to change, then that you'll wind up dismantling this government, and people don't trust you. And they have reasons based on your actions. They have rationale for not trusting you.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do politicians get that trust back? Because it's because of politicians that the trust has been eroded. What can the politicians do to and for the people to help get that trust back?
First, you got to stop being a politician
Okay.
and become a public servant.
Ooh, that's a good distinction.
That's a big difference. I used to tell people politicians shake hands, kiss babies, and go to jail. That's not where you really want to be.
Right. No. Absolutely.
Humble yourself out and obey the rules. It's not always about trying to get around the rules. And understand that in government, you got to be unified.
Right. Yeah.
What I found in government is 3 words: me, my, and I. It was not designed to be that way. It was designed to be us. And us doesn't mean just the elected official. Us means the entire community.
Right.
And so when you incorporate all that, then the trust factor will redo itself. It will remount itself. But you got to have the courage to say people sometimes that you're wrong. I cannot back you on an issue. It violates XYZ. And so when you start doing that, people are gonna start respecting you, and they're gonna put some trust in you.
Okay. Now, and I don't know how much, because I live in Florida these days. I have friends that live in South Fulton, and I've seen some discussion on social media about some things going in South Fulton, to where one friend even stated she was embarrassed to be living in South Fulton because of some not so positive things that are going on in the current administration in South Fulton. Do you know anything about that, and how has it gotten so far out of hand to where some of the residents may feel ashamed to live in that district?
Well, it goes back to the trust factor. That really does. But I talked to you a few minutes ago about a document called that we got from the legislature that governs how we do business or how the city's supposed to run.
The city charter.
City charter.
Okay.
You have to govern yourself in line with the city charter. Because remember now, the city charter was accepted by the state, voted on by the community.
Okay.
And so it's our Bible. Okay. And so what has happened? Let me just explain something to you. This is a weak mayor form of government. Okay.
Okay.
What that means is that the council, city council, are policy makers. Remember that now. That's very important.
Okay.
As they make the policies, they turn over the ability to put those policies in action over to the city manager.
Okay.
The mayor is the voice and the face of the city. The only real power that he has is the power to veto.
Okay.
Now, so you would ask yourself, if that's just that plain, what has happened? Well, it's very simple. Policymakers quit doing policy, kept doing policy, but they stepped outside the box and they went into operation.
Okay.
What is operation? The charter says, if I'm the mayor, you're in the city as an employee, I cannot tell you what to do.
Okay.
That's the job of the city manager. They're running the city.
Okay.
We've had people that tell people what to do, frighten them up, kill the morale, threatening and bullying, have issues among themselves because they have taken those 7 entities known as districts.
Okay.
And made them look like 7 little cities inside of one city. And then when you do that, you get jealous of the next person. He did something one week, so let me just go do the same thing the next week. Well, why do we have to do that? Why can't we just do it all at once for everybody? So the jealousy and the competition and all that stuff began to rise, and then that started the arguments and the fights, and we didn't have enough humbleness, I would say, about ourselves, not to portray that in media. We portrayed it in the media. And it was embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Okay. So it sounds like what you're saying to me is that the microcosm is operating similarly to what the macrocosm is, which is meaning the federal government. There's a lot of that, what you just mentioned, bullying and jealousy and all these other type of non-unifying things going on a larger level. So is that spilling over into the smaller levels, or is it? I
don't think they took that from the federal government. I just think that they got into this thing and did it themselves.
Okay.
And now we're in the process of digging ourselves out of that. But how do you do that when you just turned to the last Tuesday at a board meeting? You did the same thing.
Okay.
And so people became more unattached to you. There were people who came to me and said, I don't want anybody to know I'm living in South Fulton. While we were going through this stuff. Or some people say, I'm getting out of here. Or some people just tell me up front, say, Billy, if you don't win, I'm leaving.
Oh, wow. That's a powerful statement.
Yeah, so it's a big job to come back in here. People say, that's a hard job. No, it's not. the script has already been written. You just got to follow.
And so you mentioned that there are people who are saying that they want to leave. How do you prevent that? Because you don't want to lose your constituency, right?
Well, there's a lot of economic things that prevent people from moving.
Valid point. That's a valid point.
When one is the cost of buying or leaving, going someplace else.
Right.
That's not a great thing right now.
That's valid.
But to humble yourselves out and say, I didn't do the best job that I could have done. All right. And I want to do better. And here's how I'm going to do better. And stick to your word. All right. And ensure that these people who you're governing, ensure that they will have a right to be a part of what you're doing.
Okay.
See, this is about service. It ain't about serve us. All right. We've been in the serve us mood for some time. And so it's about service. Once we understand that, it's not going to be a big 10 years to turn this around. We can turn this around in no time.
Okay. And so you mentioned someone said if you don't win.
Yeah, that was funny. But I was told that. I just threw it as a joke, but I was told that.
Yeah. So okay. So how I want to know how long does the mayoral term last, and I would like to know why did you decide to run for mayor again? Is it because of some of the dysfunction that you mentioned that's going on there, or did you just feel like I did a great job the first time? I know I can come in and improve what has kind of gotten away from us.
Yeah, all of the above. I I think that I sat back for 4 years, but I never stopped working on this. Understand?
Okay.
I was still working for this government. I just wasn't worried about the credit for what I did.
Got you.
But I still work for this government on the state and the county and the local level. Some of the council people that you have on council now, I continue to talk to. I continue to help mold.
Okay.
Those I could mold. And so I want to make clear that I didn't lose a race and jump out and say, oh, I'm going to hit the heck with it. I ain't doing that. I stand vigilant, and I was working for the government.
Okay.
The issue of how we are perceived, not only in our municipality or in our state, but how our government is perceived around the world, it was ridiculous, and we had to grow up.
Okay.
And we still need to grow up, and work with each other, and understand each other. Get rid of the me, my, and I.
Okay.
And understand what the charter has prescribed for you. Then you do it. Now, if you don't like it, what you have to do is change the charter. All right. So I had all of that on me, and then the other thing too, Vincent, I knew I could do better.
Okay.
I mean, I've worked with difficult people a lot in my life, even as Fulton County commissioner. But I know that with the standards that I project, that I can do better.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm going to try to do. I want to come in here and I want to make a difference, but I cannot make a difference if I have in my heart the fact that I want to leave the people behind. The people got to be an integral part of what I do.
Okay. And how do you do that? How do you make the people feel like they're included in the process of what's going to go on in South Fulton if you win as mayor again?
So a lot of people talk about being mayor, but they never express a platform.
Okay.
You go, well, you want to be mayor? Why? What is going to be different? Well, my platform, Vincent, is based on 4 pillars, right?
Okay.
One is sustainability. We're going to have to get in and look at our leadership and our operations.
Okay.
If I do a good thing today, can I continue to do it? Can I build the building today?
Okay.
Continue to keep it up.
Yes, sir.
So if I write a law today, can I keep that law on the books by abiding by that law? Sustainability is very, very important. You could build a city hall today and bring the plans and tell me how much it costs.
Uh-huh.
But if you don't tell me how much it costs to maintain and operate it, that's a problem.
Yes.
Pretty soon, that's going to catch up with you. And when it catches up with you, you can't sustain. All right.
Absolutely.
The next pillar is economic development.
Okay.
Everybody talks about economic development. The reality of the fact is, we really haven't had an economic development operation for the last 4 years. Who does that? All right. Why don't we have it? So we get rid of some people we have. We can't find no people to take their place of any substance because nobody wants to work for us. We have clowned too much. All right. And so, and they speak of economic development in terms of, well, we want some store, we want this, we want that. Now, I'm going to tell you that the economic development is a two-way street.
Okay.
One responsibility of the government, other responsibility of you as a person. All right. Okay. We are inundated, and don't get me wrong, I ain't got nothing against gas stations and turkey and chicken stalls. I really don't. But at some point in time, we got to raise the level. Bring in things that we need more. We really need more office. And why? Office helps to reduce your tax burden because they pay more taxes than. When I think about office, I'm just saying that office and commercial stuff like that.
Okay, gotcha.
They offset some of the tax burden. Right now, most of the tax burden is weighted on these rooftops that we have. That's two other things and I'll get off economic development.
Okay.
One is you got to have an economic development department who works and get things done. Okay. I just met with a group of commercial developers. And the biggest thing they told me was, I can't get my projects through because permitting is so slow.
Because what's so slow?
Permitting.
Okay.
Permitting.
Okay.
Are slow. And when I get it going, what happens to me is they'll stand it over to someone else. And now I got to start all over. People were talking to me who had permits requests in for almost a year. Okay. You got to be customer friendly. Right. When you bring in a Fortune 500 company, you got to be customer friendly and take care of their needs as fast as you can. The other thing is, people don't understand that what drives a lot of businesses, it drives a lot of stores and whatever, is our residents, all right? Our need. Let me tell you this. No one's coming to a city where they don't feel safe and their children can't be educated. Why am I telling you? I'm telling you this because even just take away the safe part because people understand that. But the education part, it has been proven that where you have good schools, you have good communities. Yes, absolutely. I'm not saying we don't have good schools because we do. All right. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. The school is one government, the city is another. The county is another. But nothing happens. If anything happens of any substance in the school, nobody knows about it. Okay. Nobody knows about it. I mean, we got schools up here like Creekside and Westlake and Langston Hughes, and graduations. You can go by their schools, and you have all these banners and stuff where children have been accepted to college. I'm talking about MIT. I'm talking about Morehouse, Spelman,
Yeah.
Georgia State, Georgia Tech, all your big schools. These kids are getting in. But nobody tells you, but if they go out and fight tomorrow, it'll be all over the news.
Yeah.
People will say, well, I'm not going in there.
Yeah.
All that fighting stuff. So it's very important. They play a major part. Now, two things go to economic development. You got to go out and get other people. We have not done that. We sat in office and wait for people to come to us. That's not good. You have to get out, find out what people want. Let's go talk to them, take our brochures, take our position, and then we go in. And one of the things I tell people all the time is one question I would not like to have answered. What is it going to take to get you to come over here with me? Nothing else matters.
Yeah.
Nothing else matters. You know, I'm just wasting your time and my time.
Right.
You know? And then when you leave them a brochure, an economic development brochure, not just a city brochure, but an economic development brochure that outlines several reasons why they should come to South Fulton.
Right.
Lastly, let me say this. The other strong thing about economic development, we got to keep businesses we got. You know, well, I'm not here to trade one business for another. I mean, I keep what I got and enhance it more. So how do we do that? When I was president of the Old National Merchant Association, the Merchant Association was losing businesses. I thought it was about cost of the product. To some degree, yes.
Yeah.
But what it really was about was customer service.
Yes, sir.
We are going, and I want to establish what is called a mystery shopper program in the city.
Okay.
I would take people from other aspects of the county or the city or even the state, and I would tell them, I want you to go in to Big Daddy's restaurant, and I want you to have dinner on me. All right.
Okay.
When you come out, I got a questionnaire I want you to fill out. All right. And I'm not going to send nobody in there that hate you already. Yeah, I'm a biased person.
Right.
And when you leave, I want you to put this card on the table, and the card's going to say, you have just been shopped. All right. I would take that information that you give, and I would ask you questions why you thought this or why you thought that. They'll probably cheat anyway. But I'm going to sit down with Big Daddy and say, sir, and I'm just using Big Daddy as an example, y'all. Ain't nothing wrong with Big Daddy.
I love Big Daddy.
Right. Say, sir, this is what I got. All right. So at that point, I want to know, how can I help you as a government to get to the next one on the ladder? Right. But you won't get another one of these.
Yeah.
All right. Now, now you're holding on to what you got, and at the same time bringing more in. Right. Until we get rid of our perception, we're going to not be able to bring in a whole lot of stuff. And I'm in the business of getting rid of the perception. Okay. Now, let me tell you one other thing. You talk about my accountability is the third pole. Okay. Accountability only goes down, Vincent, to trust. Okay. When you're accountable, people trust you. Yes. How can you be accountable? You have to monitor. You have to practice what you preach. You have to be able to deliver. Okay. And if you remember, we had a situation where we wanted to put a cap on our military, right? And that exploded. That was about trust, Vincent. It wasn't about nothing. It was about trust. The people didn't trust you. Yeah. It could be a very right thing, but if I don't trust you, I'm not going to be on your side. Absolutely. Lastly, on my platform is the most important part. That's listening. Okay. Listen, man, nobody listens to us anymore. Nobody listens to the people who pay your taxes, who pay the taxes, pay your salary as elected officials.
Yeah.
You come into a meeting and you have public comment. That's only 2 minutes, man. There's only 2 minutes.
Yeah.
To say what you want to say. And now they've changed that, where you cannot, if an item is not on the agenda, you cannot say something in public comment. Well, that doesn't, I've never been in government where we did that. And I've been in Fulton County and the rest of the government, we never did that.
Okay.
So we got to hear. So how do we do that? I want to bring in what I call listening session.
Okay.
I want to go out and talk to the people. Listen, what they do now is they go out and have town hall meetings, right? And they bring in the fire chief and the police chief, and they bring in the department heads. And that is not what you need to do.
Okay.
You know, that's just glitz and glamour. I want to sit in the barbershop. I want to sit in the grocery store. I want to sit at whatever, the post office. And we have a heart. I'm not bringing all these people. Just tell me. If it calls for me to bring somebody, I'll bring them the next time. But let's just have a heart-to-heart talk about how do we get our community? How do we go back to what we started? And the only way you can do that is through communication.
Right. Communication is key.
Yes.
And so, as far as the listening sessions, instead of like a town hall where people come into a building and they listen to people speak, you're saying the listening sessions would be you going out to different spaces in the community and having like mini town halls in those spaces.
Right.
The people are.
And just to give you another example, you got seven council people, right?
Okay.
And if everybody having town hall meetings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some employees somewhere are working 12, 14 hours. Because once they got off, then the town hall meeting starts.
Yeah.
All right. I want the people to go home to their families, man. If there's something I need to know or something, I'll get with you. But I'm just talking about me and my staff.
Okay.
Just sitting down, like we're doing today. Just sit down talking and listening, taking notes, coming back and make the adjustments that we can make in government. But it's important for people to know in government why we can't do something. Everybody feels we can do everything. There's a rationale as to why something can't be done. And a lot of times that rationale is left out. All you hear is, well, we're the greatest city in the world. We got a great this and we got a great that. What you are is a swan floating across the water, but you're paddling like hell underneath. And so we have to acknowledge that. We have to really acknowledge that and get back on the truth side of things.
Okay. I definitely like that, the idea about the listening sessions, because people, I mean, to me, it's more of an inclusive way to get more people involved in the process. And like you said, to have their voice be heard. Yeah. Because people don't like to feel like.
Yeah. And have it and send it out communication purposes. You say, Mayor Edwards is having a listening session at Rick's barbershop.
Yeah.
Come one, come all. We ain't gonna turn nobody back. If we gotta go sit in the parking lot, it's okay. We just go out in the parking lot. And so I think it's some valuable information that could be ascertained by listening to people. But if we never do it, it never happens, and all the thing it does is make people mad.
Yeah, you're right. So how many people are there in the mayoral race? And what did you learn from your first years as mayor that you think can give you the edge over the people you're running against?
Well, I'm gonna say it's about the first. I would challenge you to look at the first 4 years and compare it to the second 4 years.
Okay.
Even though we had much more to deal with, all right. Even though we had nature was knocking at our door, we still able to stand up this city and survive. We didn't have P card issues. Nobody went to jail. Nobody did. We didn't have any of that, Vincent, at all. All right.
Okay.
And we still able to come out with a $75 million profit. All right. Now, it's only until the next 4 years that things went somewhere. I don't know where they went, but they left the area of common sense.
Okay. This went off the rails.
And so they were all over the place. People going to jail. People want to fight. People want to be disrespectful, indignant to everybody. We losing people left and right. You know, we got lawsuits going out the window. And it doesn't matter where you win a lawsuit or not. The important part is that one was filed. And one was filed for a reason. All right. So all this is going on. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to come back too, by the way. I like I told you before, I've had a history of working with difficult people. And then once you establish yourself with those difficult people and find a happy medium in which you can work together,
yeah,
and things start to change. But there's got to be some attitude adjustment. It's so many things in the city that has to be redesigned. It has to have some conversation about. We may even have to bring better people in.
Yeah.
You know, we may have to do it if they trust us enough to come. That's another thing. You know, we've been known as the revolving door of government for many years. Let's get some good people in. Let's build up our morale.
Yeah.
When I was the first 4 years, when I was in the office, I stayed in office. I was there all the time. But I would walk to City Hall 3 times a day.
Okay.
And I'll pop into people's offices, not to give them direction, because that's not my job. But listen, coming to you, listen, how you doing? Everything working all right? How's your family? If you have a problem, make sure you let the city manager know.
Yeah.
All right? Not me. But let the city manager know. I'll get it. If she doesn't perform or he doesn't perform, I'll get it. All right. But I'm here to, I don't want you to think, well, wait, I'm going to wait till the mayor comes. I'm going to tell mayor. No, I don't want to hear that. You got a problem. Let's do protocol. All right. And eventually it doesn't have I'll get it anyway.
Okay. Now, I know you talked to a second there about bringing better people in. And I know on your website, you mentioned that you champion transparency in politics. How do you do that? What does that look like? Because with the current federal administration, they say they champion transparency, but then they won't release the Epstein files unredacted. So what does championing transparency actually look like?
Now, you remember I gave you my 4 pillars, right?
Yes.
I didn't say transparency, did I?
No.
So, but transparency is in there.
It's part of the accountability.
That's
part of the accountability.
Yes. So if you go back and look at people who run for public office, the first thing they say is, well, I'm going to give more transparency.
They say that a lot.
Yeah. All right. So let me tell you how I feel. Transparency begins at the beginning.
Okay.
Now, this is what happens though. Something happens drastically in the government, right? It gets on the news. Everybody's mad. And then we bring all these documents over in to show why this shouldn't have happened, right? That's what they call transparency. That is not transparency.
Right.
But if you had a program and had people like city managers whose job is to look at everything we do, every program that we have, every department we have on a regular basis, and then you'll find out, well, you weren't as transparent as you thought you were, and you'll correct it earlier rather than later.
Okay.
Right. And so what I would do is I would ensure that those people who have the jobs of administering to our employees, to our department heads, they understand on a day-to-day basis not only who these people are, but what's going on. I don't like surprises. You know, when you come up, a lot of things that happen in the city and the administration of the city, you know what they've said? I didn't know. You are paid to know.
Yeah.
paid very well to know. And we've given you
Absolutely
all that you need.
You're right.
I don't want to hear, I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, we got things, all this stuff happening in our police department, right? I didn't know.
Yeah.
All these lawsuits come, I didn't know. You know, the whole thing with the cap on the millage rate, I didn't know. So at somewhere in time,
yeah,
I don't know, it's not acceptable.
Right. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Totally. And I agree with, we definitely need more transparency in politics because, like you said, people talk that a lot, but actually pulling out the files, the documents, the paperwork, the receipts, as the young people like to say, and actually doing that is two different things.
It is. It is.
I get tired of the rhetoric of I'm going to do, I'm going to do, I'm going to do, and then it never happens. And so I appreciate everything you said. I loved what you said about, what do you say, seal the deal?
Seal the deal. Now you know those pillars I gave you, right? You know what they spell, don't you?
SEAL. Yes, sir. I was the elementary school teacher, so I can
yeah. Join the SEAL team, baby.
Join the SEAL team. I like that. And the SEAL again stands for S is sustainability, E is economic development, A is accountability, and L is listening.
Don't get no better.
That listening, I love that listening is very important. You're absolutely right when it comes to communicating with the people and making them feel part of the process.
Right. Right. And they're not doing that right now. They're being very conscious of themselves.
All right, so we're running out of time.
Okay, but I'm enjoying it.
Yes, I've enjoyed this conversation, getting an insight to who you are as a person. And to be honest, when I saw some of those conversations on social media, I did see a few comments that said we need to bring Bill Edwards back. So I can attest that there are people out there saying those things and having those conversations about you. So I appreciate you taking your time out to come on Conversations and Education and talking to our listeners.
Yes.
So one question before I let you go. I heard you on Norman Carter's show, Issues and Answers, last week. And you were talking about how I think you said South Fulton is the second blackest city in Georgia.
No, I think you heard me say that it's not important to be the blackest city in America. What's important is to be the best city.
It's to be the best. That's where I was going with that. You said you didn't want to be the blackest city. You wanted to be the best city.
I got no problem being the blackest. I like it. That's real good.
What does being the best mean to you? What does that encompass for you in being the best city?
That we're respected.
Okay.
That we're bringing the kinds of things in this community that all people would want. That we accept anybody, all right, in this city. As long as you're doing good, as long as you're helping us to create a quality of life that's best for everybody, black, white, purple, green, I don't care. You know, that we're handling our government in a way that is that fosters integrity.
Yes.
That fosters respect. I mean, those are the things that's important to me.
Okay.
You know, I can't send a brochure. I say, "Hey, come South Fulton, we the black city of America." I could do that, but you know, and I admire that. I admire that. Yeah. I'm black as anybody in the world.
Yeah.
I was born in segregation, and I understand. All right.
But we want to be inclusive.
Yeah, yeah.
To everyone.
Yes. You know, I mean, That's what we got. That's what we should be really focused on.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thank you again for your time today, sir. I wish you the best in this election. And if you're the man for the job, then I want you to be the man for the job.
Yeah.
I've seen the people say it, so
Yeah.
there must be some truth to it.
Well, I'll say this in closing. The seeds you plant is the harvest that you sow.
Yes, sir.
We got to be very careful to understand that. If you plant watermelon seeds and you get an okra, that's a problem.
That's definitely a problem.
That's a problem because okra is not what you want.
Yeah.
So just remember that the seeds you plant is the harvest that you sow.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. That's a great way to end the show on that wise word. And you are the host of Wisdom Wednesdays, and that airs at what time on Wednesday?
Well, we've been off since the election.
Okay.
We used to be on Wednesdays we came on about 5 o'clock every other Wednesday. But we'll be back.
We'll be back.
We'll be back. I've seen WCEG grow so much, and they're doing it in a good manner.
Absolutely.
Penny is a wonderful lady.
She is, and I'm honored to be a part of the show. I'm honored to have you a part of the team and the family. And again, I wish you the best in your endeavors, sir.
Let's go win.
Let's go win. Thank you, sir. You have a blessed day, and I'll be looking for the results come November 4th.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Have a blessing. Thank you. All right, everyone. That was the Honorable William Bill Edwards, the former mayor of South Fulton, who is running again. As I mentioned earlier, election is Tuesday, November 4th. Early voting started October 14th, and it goes through October the 31st. You can check your voting status in polling place at mvp.sos.ga.gov. That is mvp.sos.ga.gov. And before we get out of here, I have to present my scholar. And with that being said, my scholar of the week this week goes to Subarano Bari, who is a 12-year-old young man who has a passion for math and physics. You heard that correctly, a 12-year-old with a passion for math and physics. His quote says that, yeah, most of the time I'm having fun, it's when I'm doing math and it's when I'm doing physics. Spoken like a very non-12-year-old. His father said that from as early as 4 years old that Suborno was reading math books, and not only reading those math books, he was challenging his father with the information that he read in those math books. And his father said he knew that something was special about his child at that time. Subarano also does university lectures in India, something he's been doing since the age of 7. He has skipped multiple grades. He scored 1,500 on his SAT, and he started college this past September of 2024 at NYU. So he is definitely and truly a child prodigy. Reminds me of Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory, if you know that show, and Young Sheldon. Hilarious show. Suborno says that he's on track to have his PhD by the age of 16, and that he could possibly be a college professor by the age of 16 as well. I couldn't imagine that being taught by a 16-year-old college professor. But I'm amazed that he is even in such a conversation. Suborno says that he doesn't think he's very special. He just wants to actually leave a mark on the world that people will remember him for. So shout out to Suborno Bari. He is my scholar of the week for October the 21st, 2025. With that being said, I thank you all for being here today. I will see you next month. Until then, we appreciate you. Peace, love.